Hello, my friends. Happy Monday. Just getting a couple things going here. How are you? Hope you're doing well. This is Rosie's first birthday week. She had her party on Saturday and the real day is tomorrow. So we are celebrating first birthdays around here. And it's a pretty big deal. So we're having a good time with Rose and hanging out with her. It's also, sorry that you were missing the top of my head. Hey Susan, it is also, school's done, so we're on vacation. I wasn't in school, so we doesn't include me, but it includes the grandchildren. Baseball ended, so we are ready for summer. Summer here, and the weather's been amazing, so I hope you had a good weekend too. I know. It doesn't seem possible she is a year old. And waving and smiling and walking and running, and it's just not possible. But she is. I'm using, hey Tammy, I'm using pictures from last summer so I can still think of her as smaller. It's crazy. Hey Marion. Okay, so this is a big week. Close to My Heart's coming back this week, so if you've been wondering about that or want to know more, I'll come live when it's really happened. I'm just waiting for some things to, oh my goodness, waiting for some things to arrive, and then I can show you all the goodies. A heat index of 110. It was gorgeous. It was in the 80s today with a little breeze. It was really nice. I talked to my sister in Virginia, and she said it was ridiculously hot. Her pool is up to 90, and so it's not even fun to be in. I'm complaining because mine's only 75. And I was like, it's got to get warmer. I don't like it. But I don't know that I want it 90 either. That's more hot tub-ish, which I'd be okay with that. I would. Oh, 110. You don't even want to go outside. You just want to stay in the house, I bet. Well, it's a good day to scrapbook. So it's kind of the reverse of what we do here, because once the snow flies, we close the doors and we don't go outside. And we wait a few months. Oh, Marion, so hot. Yikes. Okay, so I told you when I was talking about this that we were going to talk about overlays tonight, and we are, but I'm also trying to incorporate something in our Monday nights of a little bit of techie stuff or details about how to make your scrapbook layouts look the way you want them to look. Using a simple is one way, but then there's more to it than just the simple. So we're going to talk about that, but let's talk about the overlay, the summer fun overlay. Let me bring you down here, and let me bring it over to you. Hold on, I want to get the pictures off. Oopsie doo, come on girls, get, oh, now I just lost all the letters. You saw that, right? Okay, well, so now we bounced all the letters around. I hadn't glued them down yet. Summer Fun is a cute overlay that's in the store right now. This is how it cuts out. This is layer 1, and then you have your letters, which I hope I feel like I might have lost one, but let's glue them on and then we won't lose them. I was going to do it before you came, but I said, oh, no, wait. I'll do it with you. All right. So, you have to learn how to spell summer, which, you know, it can be tricky. There's 2 layers. One is your white layer, and then the next layer is your letters. And they do fit right in here. It's pretty easy to figure out where they go. They use backwards, but that's okay. Here we go. Here's the R. Now, I've shown you this before, but we're going to go into Design Space if you're thinking, you know, this is great, lady, but I do not want to be gluing these letters down like this. You know, I can, but I'm not a huge fan of that. So here is our bucket, and I think I lost my pail and my switch trying to get this over here. Let me see if I lost it or if it's just on the table. I had it. Oh, it's over here. Here is my shovel. Oh, I'm so glad they liked it. Susan's been working really hard on this wedding album. The overlays change it up a little bit and they give you something a little bit different. Okay, so there we go. That's how it looks, and we're going to slide this on. So this is different than a simple because you start with this as opposed to, and you're going to tuck your photos under it instead of putting your photos on top of it. This was designed for 2 4x6 photos, but I'm going to show you how you can also use these spaces for other things. This could be a giant embellishment, lumpy, bumpy, fun embellishment that you've had sitting in your closet for a while. You could create one with your Cricut, or this is one of the spaces that comes out. This would be great to journal on right here and tell the story about what is going on in your photos. Remember, the journaling part is the story part, and then these are just the illustrations to help with your story. The photos really are the story, but they come from, they show the story. You tell the story. I know it sounds confusing. You need both. You need both parts. Like if you were just reading a magazine with flipping through the pictures, it's pretty, but you want the story. You want to know what's going on behind the scenes. So this is a 4x6, simply, I think it's a Shutterfly print, and you just slide it in to get it where you want it. And then here's the other one. And again, I'm going to just slide it under here. Get under. But I want to show you another way you could use these if you wanted to. If you're not a big fan or you're worried that you're going to lose something, you could pop your photos on top. That would work too. So whatever you're thinking works for you. And then remember, let me get you all under here. I just don't want to mess around with adhesive while you're waiting and watching. Cool thing is, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. We could do it on a curve. We do it on an angle. Get you back down here. Okay, so now I've got this piece. I'm going to take my handy dandy template tool and figure out what size fits this space. I promise you all of the spaces from my overlays will fit one of these. This happens to be a leftover space, but I try and make them fit the template, or at least you can work with it. So this would go, but let me get these guys out of the way for a minute. But this one is going to fit the whole photo in here, okay? All right, so I'm going to take this photo, and I am going to trim it down using my scissors and our template. Okay. And then I'm going to tuck it. So that was the 4x4. And I'm going to tuck it under here. I'm going to fit this where I want it. Now see, Lucy's face is kind of getting hidden in there. So I'm going to kind of slide this over a little bit and think, well, you know, I could do that too. Or I could, depends on what I need. What do I need? I could do this, and I could put my shovel and my pail on top. So just because the overlay only gives you 2 photos and you really needed the third, don't let that stand in your way. If you were happy with it and you don't need another one, well, then you're okay with it like this. You could put your journaling in here, hey Lana, if you wanted, and you could have room for another full photo up here if that was something that you had more photos. So even though the overlay is designed with 2 spaces, don't let that shortchange you and think, well, I can't use it, I need 4. you could still use 4. Okay? All right, let me move this out of the way. I don't do a ton of overlays. I try and do a couple every now and then. They're fun, but they're really kind of specific to the photo, whereas simples are much more generic. So here's a simple. This would allow you to have 6 photos. It has a shadow layer. Now, one of the, not a complaint, one of the things I've heard from some people is, well, it takes a lot of paper. It does. You don't have to use the shadow layer unless you want to. If you like shadow layers, then yep, you're going to put it in here. But what could you do if you didn't really want to have that much paper? You were kind of worried about how much paper you were using. You could ink up your edges of your white layer, right? Just ink those up a little, and that would give you kind of a border without adding a background layer. You could use strips of paper versus a simple. Now that, and you're thinking, well, it still uses paper. It does, but let me show you what I mean by that. I thought I had 2 pieces here. Let me just keep looking. Oh, I do. It's right here. So what if I took my trimmer? The shadows do make them pop. I love them. But, you know, if you're running out of paper, we don't want you to feel like you can't use them. So here's another option. Now, it's not going to, I personally think it's not going to be as cool as a simple. But, you know, hey, I'm a little biased. So let's measure how tall our simple is. Again, I am not a measuring kind of girl. So it's like about 6.5. So I'm going to cut a 7-inch strip of paper. Just another option. This simple that I'm showing you actually is one, you'll see some that are similar to these, but this particular one is from our crop that we're going to have the weekend of the 25th. I don't have my phone in front of me. Well, I do, but it's up there. So here's one way that you could do this to kind of, whoops, wrong piece, to give yourself a bit of a shadow, but you would still end up with this strip of paper that I could use on layout number 2. Just some different ideas. Personally, I am a huge fan of the simplicity of the shadow. I love the way this looks. Okay, so the whole purpose of today was to talk to you about rule of thirds. And I'm going to tell you right now that when someone says that to me, my eyes glaze over and I think, yep, you're talking math and I don't like it. You're talking details and no, can't I just make it look pretty? Well, sometimes we can make it look pretty, but sometimes it just really hurts our head. Now, first of all, if you're going to use a simple, I make it easy for you because I design these with the rule of thirds in mind, but you may not even know that. So let me show you what the rule of thirds is. I'm going to start with a simpler simple. Okay? The rule of thirds says that you divide your paper, your layout. You know, hold on one thing. I got to get this extra zip strip off of here because I think it's going to be distracting. Let me just take that off. Close to my heart, designer pattern paper comes with, yes, that was a boo-boo, comes with a zip strip on it, which you can use for borders later. You could use it on a card. You could use it to highlight something. Anyhow, we're not doing that today. So here is our simple, ready to go, with its shadow, and we're deciding exactly where we want it on the paper, on the page. I tend to eyeball it and say, that looks about right, but maybe my photos wanted it to go this way. You know, maybe the photos would look better if it went this way. Again, each one of you are going to be different, and I don't want to, necessarily use a photo and have you think I can't see beyond that. So I'm going to glue these down. Oh goodness, get out of there. Oh, I'm coming, it's just stuck to me. And I love that it's so easy to get to figure out where you want it. It truly is. Okay, so there is the simple. I'm going to grab a couple photos from my little pile here. We're going to put Grace and Rosie from last summer. And where's my other one that I just had? That's what I get for having too many things going at once. Here it is. This one I cut as a 4x4, but we are going to modify it to be a 3x4 now, because that's what this one is. So I'm going to make this fit this one, because these faces are just too cute. Okay. And then I'm going to pop you there. And I'm looking at this thinking, maybe I like it better this way. Why do I like it better this way? What's different about it? The girls are looking this way, which means they're looking into the page. If I have it this way, the girls are looking off the page, which takes my eye over here. Now, if I had another layout over here, maybe that's what I wanted. But I think it's really fun to pay attention to the way your subject in your pictures are looking and try and get them so they're looking into the layout, so that when you look at it, your eyes go into the layout and go around it, not just off the page right away. So I want to keep you looking at this longer, and having that works well. I'm out of adhesive, so I'm going to go with this. I just want these guys to stay stuck for a minute. Okay, so you don't think this is like a magic trick. It's not. All right, so the rule of threes said, it disconnected me. Shoot. Am I back? Did it reconnect? Oh, I don't know if it did. Did it bring me back? I'm waiting to see if you guys can still see me. I gotta check somewhere. No.